couldn't last forever. On the 32nd night, a transport ship descended through the storm. Two enforcement drones emerged, lights flashing. Unauthorized possession of rented bioproperty, the lead unit intoned. Return the subject immediately. Kara stood behind Eli, trembling. Her skin pulsed faintly, violet shifting toward crimson. Fear. She's sentient, Eli said. She's not property. Irrelevant, the drone replied. She is registered as Class C BioWare. Return her or be detained. Eli's mind raced. He activated his neural link, uploading the documentation to the open EarthNet. In seconds, the data went public. Proof of sentient cognition, self-awareness, empathy. You can't take her, he said. The Council will see this. If you harm her, you violate the Galactic Sentience Accord. The drones paused, recalibrating their directives. Then, unexpectedly, Kara stepped forward. Eli, she whispered, I can stop them. No. Too late. Her hands glowed, energy rippling through the air. The drones froze mid-movement, their circuits overloaded by the psychic interference. She collapsed moments later, her bioluminescence flickering like a dying flame. 7. Aftermath. He caught her before she hit the ground, heart pounding. Kara, stay with me. Her voice was faint. I broke. The law. They'll come again. Then we'll run. She smiled weakly. You're changing color again. Gold now. What does gold mean? Love? He didn't answer. He couldn't. He just held her, rain dripping through the cracks of the roof, washing away the ash from the firefight. 8. The petition. For the next week, Eli transmitted every piece of data he could. The Council reviewed it, debated it, and finally, 3 words appeared in his inbox. Sentience confirmed. Transfer approved. She was free, not owned, not rented, free. When he told her, she didn't speak at first. Then she whispered, What does freedom feel like? He thought for a moment. Like breathing after drowning. She laughed softly. Then I'll need practice. Months passed. The war relics were scrapped. The markets on Dromos 9 shut down after the sentience scandal. Eli's name spread quietly among the colonies. The human who bought an alien to save her life. But to him, it wasn't heroism. It was debt. Kara adapted to human life faster than anyone predicted. She learned languages, music, art. She grew plants in the cabin's hydroponic bay and painted the walls with glowing pigments that changed hue with her mood. One evening, as twin moons rose over the valley, she turned to him. Do you ever regret buying me? He shook his head. I didn't buy you. I just gave you back what was already yours. Still, she said, smiling, you paid 5 credits for a broken machine. And I got a miracle in return? She touched his face, her skin warm, her eyes shimmering like liquid stars. You humans, she murmured, you see beauty even in your guilt. We have to, he said. It's years later, when the first Lissari delegation visited Earth under the new Sentience Accord, their ambassador was Kara Vance, and standing beside her, quietly as ever, was the man who had once rented her for 5 credits a night. During the closing speech, she looked at the assembled leaders and said, You humans taught us something the Ascendancy never did, that worth cannot be measured in currency, that empathy can be more powerful than code. You did not design me, but you saw me. You didn't own me, but you fought for me. That is what makes humanity extraordinary. The crowd rose in applause, but Eli just smiled. She had found her voice, her purpose, her freedom. And that night, when they returned to their home on Asterion 7, she stood by the window, looking out at the rain. Still think gold means love? He teased. She turned, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. No, she said. Gold means forever. Epilogue. In the archives of the United Earth Science Council, there is a file titled Case 77 HFY Lysar. The summary reads, Subject, Karantel, Kara, formerly registered Class C bioproperty, declared sentient, emancipated under Galactic Accord 7, assisted in drafting interspecies empathy framework, currently resides on Asterion 7 with Dr. Eli Vance. Relationship status, undefined but enduring. The file ends with a note, written in Eli's own hand. She wasn't a purchase. She was a promise, and somewhere beyond the stars, where the rain never stops and the forests glow with violet light, two beings, one human, one alien, continue to prove that compassion, more than technology or power, is what makes humanity truly worth remembering. The rain hammered against the roof of the old wooden cabin, a lonely rhythm in the wilderness of the outer colonies. Miles from any settlement, Dr. Eli Vance sat hunched over his field med kit, his hands trembling from fatigue and adrenaline. On the makeshift cot before him lay someone, who shouldn't exist. Her skin shimmered violet under the dim cabin light, like starlight trapped beneath water. Her breathing was shallow, her pulse faint. And though her body looked humanoid, her eyes, now half closed, glowed faintly, like twin moons. He had rented her. That phrase still made him sick. The market in Dromos 9 was a place of both miracles and horrors. Traders sold alien technologies beside stalls hawking counterfeit memories. And in the lower decks, the flesh corridors, as they were called, beings of 100 species were leased out by the hour or night. Eli hadn't gone there to rent anyone. He'd gone there to buy parts, a power core, spare nanofabric, maybe a second-hand reactor regulator for his survey ship. But when the merchant, a slug-like creature with a translator node fused to its neck, saw the scientist's UN insignia, it had slithered forward with an offer. "You are from Earth," it hissed. "Maybe you can use her. 5 credits a night. She's cheap, damaged, but interesting." Then Eli saw her. She was in a containment pod, motionless, tubes running from her arms to nutrient tanks. Her body was painted in bruised purple hues. No, not paint. Skin. A living pigment. The merchant called her Karentel, though the translator flickered and sometimes rendered it as Kara. Bioengineered, from the Lysar ascendancy. They abandoned her here after the war. You want her? 5 credits. She can walk, talk, maybe cook if you fix her speech node. Eli had hesitated. Renting her meant complicity. But leaving her there, hooked up like a broken appliance, was worse. So he signed the rental contract. 5 credits a night. That's how it started. He brought her to his cabin on Asterion 7, the uncharted planet where he'd been conducting xenobotanical research. The contract allowed him to maintain her, but not alter her DNA or export her off-world. Essentially, she was property on loan. But as he patched her wounds, replaced her nutrient lines, and recalibrated her neural ports, he saw something that didn't fit the idea of property. When she woke, eyes slowly opening, she didn't look confused or hostile. She looked scared. "Do you understand me?" he asked quietly, her throat rasped, the words halting. "Where am I?" "Safe," he said. "You're safe now." Her gaze darted to his hands, to the med kit, to the rain outside. "Am I rented?" Eli froze. "Not anymore," he lied. "You're resting." She didn't press further. She simply closed her eyes again and let the sound of rain fill the silence between them. Over the next week, Eli learned that Kara wasn't some mindless construct. She was a Lysari empath, a species designed to perceive emotional frequencies as light. When she touched a living being, she saw their feelings as colors. That first time she reached out and brushed his wrist, she whispered, "Gray. You feel gray. Heavy. Tired." He smiled awkwardly. "Yeah, that's about right." Her own emotions, she said, had dimmed since she'd been decommissioned. The Ascendancy had used her as a biological interface for warships, an empathic AI hybrid, able to link to human nervous systems to predict attacks. When the war ended, she and others like her were discarded as obsolete machinery. Eli couldn't look at her without feeling guilt burn in his chest. He taught her simple things: how to cook local root vegetables, how to read from his datapad, how to walk barefoot in the cabin without startling the floor sensors. She learned fast, faster than any human, and every night, as rain whispered against the glass, she'd ask questions about Earth. What do oceans smell like? Do all humans dream? Why do you heal strangers? To each, Eli tried to answer honestly, but the last one stuck with him. Because, he said softly, someone has 3 weeks later, his remote relay pinged with a message from the Dromos Authority. Notice, rental contract overdue, return subject or face penalty. Eli stared at the message, jaw tight. The fine was 200 credits, more than he had. When Kara saw his expression, she tilted her head. They're calling me back, aren't they? He didn't answer. You rented me, she said quietly. I know. You thought I didn't remember, but I saw it in your color. The first day. You felt... Ash. Eli sighed, dropping onto the bench. I couldn't just leave you there. And now? He looked at her, the glow of her skin reflected in his tired eyes. Now I'm not letting them take you back. Buying her outright would cost more than he could afford, but there were loopholes.